Welcome to Court Helicopter Explainer, where we're dealing with the Penal Code. The reason why we decided to deal with the Penal Code is because under section, most of the people when they're arrested, they say, "Me, I didn't know." For example, do you know that the fighting is an offense? Both of you can be arrested and be charged. We'll tell you now. Do you know that keeping somebody's land by force is an offense? So don't keep telling people that I don't know the law. I was innocent. I was naive. I was stupid. Because Section 7 says ignorance of the law is no defense against a crime that you have committed. Now we are looking at offenses which can cause a breach of peace. The offenses that can cause a breach of peace. The first one is forcible entry, Section 90. Here, you enter into somebody's land by force. Some call it trespass, some call it is an offense to enter forcibly into anybody's property without his consent. Have you gotten drunk by power, then you entered into somebody's land, you have entered into somebody's house, you will be arrested and be charged for forcible entry, and once you are challenged, it is an offense to do that. Number 2, forcible detainer. Have you gone to somebody's land and chased the owner from there because you are mighty? Have you encroached on somebody's land and you have chased that person? If you keep somebody's land that is not yours, it is called forcible detainer. And once you are found, you will be jailed for entering into and detaining that land. Section 92, and this is the most interesting one, fighting. When is it fighting and when is it beating? The two people quarrel. You're in a bar, you're celebrating your match, your football team has won, you differ, you exchange blows. You are in a disco dance, your girlfriend, somebody wants to talk to her, you get mad, you start fighting. You are in a bus, somebody irritates you, you hit back. Very many offenses, very many occurrences when you are fought back. What is the definition of affray? Affray is Section 92. Any person who takes part in a fight in a public place is guilty of a misdemeanor and is liable for imprisonment for 1 year. If the fight happened in a public place, for example, we saw Babu Wino and the MCA ally, that was an affray in a public place. Affray is not in a private bedroom. That is not affray. It must be a public place. A public place is a road, is a shopping mall, is a shop, is a school, is a field, is where members of the public are. Whether you are fighting between your husband and wife, so long as it is in a public place, it is not a domestic issue. It is an affray. Whether it is girlfriend and boyfriend battering each other, so long as it is in a public place, that is an affray. Mostly, people run after fighting. Somebody runs and reports at Kileleshwa police station. Omari has beaten me. You report an offense of affray, of assault. Omari runs to Kilimani police station, reports that Vivian has fought me. Then I'm reporting assault, only for the police to discover the two of you fought, the offense becomes affray. So affray is 1 year, so long as you have fought in the public. You are not going to say you are beaten. If you responded in a fight, if your argument is that it was self-defense, that is affray. There is no defense for self-defense in a public place, because you saw the Babu Alai issue. Everybody ran away. It was a stampede. If there were children there, the children could have been stepped on. If the people ran away, the bills could not have been paid. So fighting in public is now you know. Don't say, I didn't know. Section 7 is what we have told you. Fighting in public, there is no defense that I didn't know that it is an offense. Now you know. It moves on to say, a challenge to a duel. Nini, utanifanyia nini? Kuja. A challenge to a duel. Donald Trump gave Maduro directions to leave. Maduro gave him a challenge to a duel. Mimi wezi nitisha bana. Nini? Kuja. Takumaliza. That is, do you know that is an offense? Ignorance of the law is no defense against the law. Challenge to a duel. Section 93. Any person who challenges another to fight, a duel, or attempts to provoke another to fight, a duel, or attempts to provoke any person to challenge another to fight a duel is guilty of a demeanor. If you challenge somebody to start a fight, if you challenge somebody for a fight, you'll go in for a misdemeanor. And a misdemeanor, you can be jailed up to 3 years. That is what it is. Section 94. We are dealing with offensive conduct conducive to breaches of peace. Any person who in a public place or in a public gathering uses threatening, abusive, or insulting words or behavior with an intent to provoke a breach of peace, or whereby a breach of peace is likely to be occasioned, is guilty of an offense and is liable to a fine not exceeding 5,000 shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months. Any breach of peace in a public place, if you start shouting, if you start screaming, if you start threatening, if you start banging the table, I know people get mad and they bang the table. My friend, do not banging the table. You'll go in for 5 years, or you pay a fine of 5,000 shillings, or you do what is called, you go in for 6 months. You are annoyed, you get a glass of beer, pour to somebody who you don't like. Your team has lost, you get a glass of wine, you splash it to somebody. That is an offensive behavior. That is breach of peace. You are in a public place. You show fingers, some ways of how you put your finger to abuse people. I can't put it on because Court Helicopter is a decent media house. You know the fingers. You are driving in a public road and you show people fingers in a manner that you know is not allowed. My friend, that is breach of peace. You'll go in for 6 months. In this section, a public gathering means any meeting, gathering, or cause where there are 10 or more persons in any public. If there are 10 or more people, that is a public place. So now you know, if there are more than 10 people, the law says that is a public gathering. 2, any meeting, we are saying, any meeting or gathering which the public or any section of the public or more than 50 persons are permitted to attend or to attend, whether on payment or otherwise. A disco, a celebrations, a bash, so long as there are more than 50 people. That is a public gathering. Lastly, any form of procession to or from a public place. If there is a procession walking, they are Rastafarians wearing their jar rasta. They are going to petition. You don't like them. There are more than 50. You do those finger marks. You talk bad about them. You throw some jabs at them because you don't like them. They are doctors. You are complaining they are not there in the hospital. That is a public gathering. You will go in for that. Then we have section 95, threatening breach of peace or violence. There are people who we say threatening peace of violence. I have decided, and we have decided as management of Court Helicopter, that section 7 tells you, you have no defense that you didn't know. Now you know. How can you be arrested for threatening peace or violence? 1, any person who uses obscene, the finger I have told you. You turn the back of your body in a manner to show contempt, in a manner to show you despise that person. You turn your mouth in a manner to show you it's obscene. You know the obscene languages because of our integrity and moral responsibility. We can't show. But you know what Wakili Danstan is saying. 2, uses abusive or insulting language. 1, to his employer. You know very well, your employer sometimes gives you directions you don't like. Then you use abusive language to your employer. Or to any person placed in authority over you, whether it's your supervisor or anybody, in such a manner as likely to cause a breach of peace. Employees, you know you talk very rudely to your bosses, you'll be arrested. Don't think that you'll go away. For example, let me show this type of word, kwenda huko. It's not obscene, but it's abusive. It can cause a breach of peace. Kwambia mtu kwenda huko. The other words I can't add. You know what they are. What follows when this comes. My friend, the law is there. It must be any person who brawls, B-R-A-W-L-S. Dogs are supposed to brawl. You start screaming as a dog, barking to somebody. Allow me not to be very, very hostile to the gender of ladies. Do you brawl? Do you shout? Do you scream? Do you want to take the position of a dog to brawl? It is an offense. Today you know. Brawls or in any other manner creates a disturbance in such a manner as is likely to cause a breach of peace. Is guilty of a misdemeanor and is liable to imprisonment for 6 months. Stop shouting in a supermarket. You have differed with your partner. Stop shouting, not to the teller, but to the person you are with. That is a public place. If the two of you have gone for a date and you have differed, stop brawling and making noise, screaming and banging the table in a public place. The number 2, it says any person who, with intent to intimidate or annoy any person, threatens to break or injure a dwelling house. If you are annoyed, you threaten to injure or destroy a dwelling house of another person. You threaten to break her door. You threaten to break his window pane. You threaten to bring down the stairs. My friend, don't joke. It is very easy to threaten. And you say, I didn't do anything. I just talked. I only wanted him to see sense. Section 7 tells you any form of breaking the law, because you are ignorant, there is no defense of that. It moves on to say, is guilty of a misdemeanor and is liable to imprisonment for 3 years. Or if the offense is committed in the night, mark my words, if you threaten during the day, it's 3 years. If you threaten at night, in an Airbnb, in a hostel, wherever, at night, the punishment is 4 years. During the day is 3 years. During the night, my sister, my brother, my relative is 4 years. Then we have incitement to violence and disobedience of the law. If you incite people to violence, if you tell people to incite the people to violence, beba mapanga, watu tutawamaliza, hawa wajaluo lazima tuwamalize, hawa wasichana lazima tuwapige, hawa watu lazima tuwagonge, hawa watu wanatudhulumu, beba haki zetu, lazima tujitetee. If you incite people to violence, you will go in for a term not exceeding 5 years. Section 98. If you are assembling for the purpose of smuggling, you get people together, your intent is to smuggle. Do you know it is an offense? If you want to smuggle, for example, any person who assembles together to the number of 2 or more, if you are only 2, more than one person, 2 people or more, for the purpose of unshipping, carrying, or concealing any goods subject to custom duty and liable to forfeiture under any law relating to customs, are guilty of a misdemeanor and you'll be jailed for 6 months. If the 2 of you assembling, mumejificha, you have worn dark clothes to steal custom goods, 6 months is there for you. If wrongfully inducing a boycott, if you are telling people not to read, not to buy certain products, you start telling people, don't buy Safaricom goods, don't go to the bank, this bank, don't watch Court Helicopter News. Do you know what that is, my friend? Don't tell me you didn't know that it is an offense to incite people to boycott. You know very well, the government sometimes rolls injections for missiles, injections for children, all these things that the government, Minister of Health does. The president declares that now we need to plant trees. Then you incite people to boycott tree planting. You incite people to boycott the youth people from taking nyota, from taking the hustlers fund. If you incite people to boycott government products or any other thing, then you are going to be jailed for that offense because it is a felony. Then you have also boycotting involves telling people to abstain. Don't buy these goods, don't buy these goods, don't do these things. That is a serious offense. Then we have offenses that we are going to go in the next episode, that is chapter division 2, that is chapter 10, abuse of office. The people who are called public officers, what offenses are they going to do in the offices that they have? Wakili Danstan Omari has looked at it and said many people who are convicted in criminal courts is because they don't know the law. It's because they walk to court saying, me, I didn't know that it was an offense. We have brought it to you in court helicopter as it is. What are offenses under the Penal Code? Know the offenses, avoid those offenses, and you'll never get your problems. Keep watching, keep following, and avoid telling me that you didn't know the law. We are saying it is symbolic. Wear your shoes. The cameras will show you. Wear your running shoes. Wear your shorts or your track jacket. Wear your kofia. Run away from crime. This time, you must run away faster than all our Olympic medal ladies and men. Crime is catching up you. We started with the drugs, anti-narcotics. Now we are dealing with the penal code. Why? Because Section A7 tells you ignorance of the law is no defense against the law. The signal is avoid kuwekwa pingu. Avoid kufungwa pingu. Wengi wako kwa pingu, wako jela sababu they didn't know. Court helicopter has it you. Why do you want to go in prison with handcuffs? You saw Maduro, he was handcuffed. When are you going to be handcuffed? Court helicopter brings it to you the way it is, and we have unchained you by giving you what the law is. Happy New Year.